This short video clip will be about repairing a Maxwell 17 jib sheet winch. The drawing I have here is a 1-speed winch, but we're going to actually work on a 2-speed winch. And you'll see the obvious differences here in a few minutes. But this drawing works quite well. I can't seem to find a 2-speed winch drawing any place on the internet. So we'll work with this one. The main difference lies here in the eye doors down at the bottom of the picture. You notice this bottom plate has 2 holes in it, one for the center shaft up through the winch, and the one on the right is the eye door. This eye door connects the outer drum to the winch drive assembly. The 2-speed winch has a third idler with a clutch system, just like the center clutch system in this picture. So that's the major difference. Here we have a picture of my spanner tool. I made one out of some little pieces of steel. If you don't have one, you need to buy one because the top nut on the winch is a spanner nut. Here we've removed the spanner nut, the self-tailing adapter, which is stainless steel, just under the spanner nut, and the drum housing. And that's how we get the drum housing off, removing the spanner nut. Here's another picture of those 3 parts. The spanner nut, which is upside down in this picture, the self-tailing winch bracket, which is right side up, and the drum itself. Once you remove the drum, this is what the remaining winch post looks like. We have a needle bearing assembly, roller bearing assembly, and a plastic housing on the larger shaft. Then at the bottom we have that outrigger I was telling you about, which connects the drum teeth to the winch drive system. Here we see the base of the winch, which is still mounted to the sailboat. We have a clutch in the center and the clutch on the left-hand side. That clutch is only in a 2-speed winch. There would be a gear there instead, or the idler gear. We also have an idler gear between the 2 clutch assemblies. So this is what a 2-speed winch looks like at the base arrangement. Next we're looking at the bottom of the post assembly. Notice that gear on the left. That gear is the 2-speed gear that connects the drum to the drive mechanism. The bottom post is what the idler of the 2-speed system rotates on, and then the center post is the center post. Most important thing in this picture is there's 4 springs. There's 4 springs equally divided around the center post. Those springs are what hold the ratchets down on the clutch, which sits below this picture. Same way with the left-hand post. It's got 4 springs on it. Do not lose those 4 springs. Grease will hold them in place, so you should be okay if you have grease on those springs. Here we have 3 pieces that make up a clutch assembly. The right-hand gear is the gear that connects the drum to the drive mechanism on the 2-speed winch. Notice there's 4 slots in the top of this gear. The middle ring here is the bottom clutch, which sits on top of the gear. It's got posts that fit down in those 4 slots. That locks the middle ring to the gear on the right. And then the left-hand ring is shown upside down. You turn it over and put it on top of the middle ring. That makes your clutch assembly. And if you remember from the previous discussion, the post and the springs in the post is what holds these clutches down against each other. And the springs allow it to ratchet. So here we have the outside clutch assembly. And if you notice, you've turned that left-hand gear over. If you try to rotate it, it will in fact turn the gear on the right. If you try to rotate it counterclockwise. If you try to rotate it clockwise, it will ratchet and not turn the gear on the right. This is a center post clutch assembly. Notice the gear on the right. It's about 15% larger in diameter than the outside gear assembly, clutch assembly gear. So make sure you keep these sorted out. Also, if you look at the teeth on this clutch assembly here, you will see that clockwise rotation meshes the teeth together and counterclockwise rotation causes the ratchet. So it's the opposite of the outside clutch assembly. This is another picture of the base assembly with just the idler gear left in there. The two clutches have been removed. So this is the bottom of the line. Clean all these parts, reassemble them back in the same order, and you have a nice free running winch once again. The manufacturer recommends using WD-40 or light grease, and use your own judgment on that. I used a marine grease and use it lightweight. You don't want it caking up when the sun bakes it. So that's the end of this lesson. Hope this helps you disassemble and reassemble a Maxwell 2-speed winch.